Bust of the week. Let's start. Well, first, let me describe again one more time what we think a bust is. That is a player who you most likely will have to start because of where you drafted him, or just because of your your roster situation, who's going to underperform. He's going to give you less points than you'd want, to the point where you might even think about benching him, but you really don't have the choice. So, Scott,
would you say finish out of the top 10 as well?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely finish out of the top 10.
Yes.
All right, so last week I had MJD against Houston. Houston was 7th against the run. Not a good call. He was actually 10th in fantasy points. He had 13 points. But what really redeemed him was he had a TD.
Yeah.
He didn't have many yards.
Right.
I think he had 45 yards or something like that, but he had a TD. So he ended up with, I think it was like 13 points. I don't know, something like that. But the running backs last week were down in general. So even with that limited number of points he had, he still ended up top 10. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, this week I'm going back to running back in, and Rashard Mendenhall is my bust of the week. The Ravens, second against the run in fantasy points. And I think he finishes outside the top 15.
You know what?
What?
I'm all right with it.
You okay with that?
I have him on my bench.
Oh, that's solid, dude. That was nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, a little moment there between us. One moment. So the Ravens, they give up 7.6 fantasy points a week to running backs. Best in the league fantasy points. Oof. So I think he ends up with he may get 10 points, may get 11 points because he might sneak in a touchdown, but I don't think he does anything.
All right. I like it.
That's
it's painful for me because I kind of drafted him early. And, but I actually
not been a good year.
Got on my bench. He's only had one good game.
Yeah.
A couple decent ones. I need him to do something. He's gonna be a bench burner for me before he's a starter again. I know.
Wow.
It hurts.
That does hurt.
But I do have Turner and Beanie Wells and Sproles this week, who's cool. So anyway, I know.
I'm
sorry, not Sproles. I'm sorry. My man who used to be in it's Tolbert.
Yeah, that'd be good. So. I think the first two you mentioned, Wells and Turner, badasses of the week. I mean,
wow!
I mean, they're already ranked in the top 10, so I didn't use them. But both those guys are going up the top 5.
Okay, cool.
Beanie Wells almost slid in as my badass because he's going to go off this week.
Really?
He was injured last week and still ended up top 5.
But he's not even have his regular quarterback in there.
It doesn't matter. They're going to run that hell out of the ball. Yeah.
All right.
That's 10 cents in the jar.
A little extra something there. I'm going to talk about busts of the week from last week. Matt Schaub. Called him a bust. He's not really a bust.
Yeah.
He actually ended up 6th out of all quarterbacks.
That's not a bust.
It's not a bust. So if that's when we, it's kind of like you got that curve, right? The performance of the whole set, that class of position, and he actually ended up with 16 completions for what was that? No, 16 completions,
16,
30 attempts, 225 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Good enough last week to get him 6th. Anyway, this week, I know a lot of people have been getting excited about him. He's been coming off the waiver wire the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
But this is not Jake Ballard's week. Okay?
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why. New England, although gives up a lot of yards to the wide receiver, does not, or points to the wide receiver, does not do so for tight ends. They're actually ranked 7th as a defense against tight ends, fantasy point-wise. And you know what? I think that Belichick, he's the kind of coach who does a lot of things well, but particularly adjustments. They gave up a lot of yards. I think it was like 85 yards to Heath Miller last week.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Right through the middle. They're going to shore that up. And this is a home game. The Patriots don't lose at home. They haven't done so in a couple of years. It's pretty crazy. So that's why I say bust this week. Jake Ballard, keep him. But you might consider benching him. But he's definitely a bust.
All right, thanks. Good luck this week.
Do it.
Fellas.